LTK on the case. Knife tests. Is it real? We're going to find out. Yes, it's kind of like breaking news. I guess I get a little over dramatic with my intros, but we're testing knives and it is interesting, isn't it? And so we're going to just chill, man. Chill. Because we're going to find out right now. We're going to throw the paperwork in front of you and let you know if these knives are the real deal, Holyfield. And yeah, why start? Why start now? Why start with the why start? TwoSun. These are M390s. We've tested TwoSun knives, the TS89, the TS81. Those are a real D2. The titanium was TI64, which is grade 5 or TC4, whatever the hell you want to call it, titanium. But these are M390, so the TS66 and the TS88, this tenon, mortise and tenon knife, and then the integral 66. So, yeah. How about this dog? This is an embarrassment and a humiliation I will get to later, and with a plethora of apologies for being a complete stooge. But let's get started. Let's talk about the why start. What? Oh my God. You know, the one that's D2 steel. The one that Pete over at Cedric and Ada channel did a cut test on. And he goes, man, it's just not cutting like D2. I don't know what and the problem is with this knife. And you know, it is kind of fun. I like that axis lock type thing. That's now legal. Of course, they started doing this before the axis lock patent came out. But okay, you're good now. D2. Wish it was, but it ain't. But doesn't mean it's not a good little user knife. I think it's kind of fun. I like the design. It's a good little beater, and they're cheap as chips. You got a go front position on this knife. So nice flat grind, piercing, slicing, not a problem. I think I paid $16 for it from Gear Best. So hey, it's the Gen 02. Let me see, Gen 02, and the envelope says, wrong. Hey, the HRC, though, is 59.4, so whatever it is, I think it's done. I think they cooked it long enough. I think the heat treat's there. Here's your printout as far as elements go. And, oh, by the way, David Cam from Blade Banter, I'll give you the link to his YouTube channel. He and I are getting together, and I'm going to dump information on him, and he's actually going to do all the work. You know, put the spreadsheet together and everything. So we'll have a running spreadsheet of all these knives that we're testing. So we can go back and share data on the spreadsheet of all the knives that get tested, what their elemental composition was, and whether they tested true or false, and, you know, what the HRCs were, and any other comments that we might make at that point in time, or that were told to us by Kurt, our testing guru. That's really, I mean, the guy's a gem. Okay, so no, it's not. And I went back to him because I didn't make any notes on this sheet. And I said, well, what do you think it is then? I mean, and he goes, you know, if you look at this, I'd say an 8CR, 13, 14, somewhere like in that area. So there you go. It's not D2. If you thought you were going to get D2 for $16, forget about it. Just forget about it. I mean, hell, you can't. What does a Rat 2 cost? Rat 2 D2 is like 39 or something. $16. All the dreams are now shattered. Okay, the next one, though, is kind of interesting. Check this out. So this is obviously a stolen design, right? But you can buy it online. I think it was, oh, where have I seen this? Oh, DH Gate. So you just type in Sinkevich and these will come up. These are not the full-size M390 green thorn ones. These are shorter. This is like 3.75 blade, not or 3.5, as opposed to the 4-inch blade with titanium and stuff. But this is just says D2. It's not M390, right? So these are like, I can't remember, like $100 a shot, something like that. Okay, so I sent it in for testing. And you know what? I think I got this one on Gear Best at one time. You can check Gear Best and Fast Tech, but DHgate's where I saw them most recently. I didn't see them on Gear Best anymore. Okay, came in a zipper pouch, all that kind of shit, but the Sinkevich Leaf design. And what is it? Is it really D2 steel or not? And I always thought they were kind of cool knives and everything. Of course, I couldn't afford the original Leaf. I don't even know if you can get one because it was his design, but I'm not sure that they put many out. Okay, so we're calling it the Sinkevich knockoff. I should put Leaf in there because we'll probably have some more Sinkevich knockoffs later. In any case, D2 is real. Yeah, it actually tests. It's real D2, and the HRC is 60.1. Go figure, right? When you are ready for a blast of lying and cheating, oh my God, what the hell? Why are they being honest? What's going on here? Okay, so the D2, though, has a bit more chromium than normal, according to this reading, and here's your readout. So you can pause and serve. There you go. And so let's talk about the scales. Is that real titanium? Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, this held the scan. I mean, there's some really higher end knives where because of whatever coating and stuff they're putting on these knife scales and stuff after they get done, it's not holding the scan. Like it'll start reading TI 64, grade 5, you know, but it won't hold it through the whole scan. So it ends up saying no match like it does here. It'll say no match. But this one actually held it all the way through. So go figure. I mean, just when, you know, you get the shooter and it actually shines. So in any case, here's the printout here. And yes, it's real grade 5 TI6 titanium with them. I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're disappointed, but yeah, it's the real deal, Holyfield. And with the HRC, with the Rockwell, it actually ought to be a pretty good performer. So go figure. Wow. Strange. I really was counting on this not to test, but so I'm a little surprised. Now, let's talk about our little integral from TwoSun. Got this from Mike Hegman out in Tampa, St. Pete area. He sent me both these in M390. Oh, when I get done, I'm going to sell these suckers off. And he could get his money back. It's like, I don't want to send them. You know, there's no point in sending them back. If you really want to sell them, I'll just sell them off for you. So, any case, and, you know, I get to test them as a result. But, you know, here's whoever buys them, you're going to have to put up with the little nibble right here for the Rockwell testing, which, yeah, it still shows on this one. A lot of them disappear when you open it up, but, yeah, it still shows. Yeah, oh well. In any case, so nice, lightweight integral knife, M390, titanium, with a little bit of carbon fiber here. And I think TwoSun Knives is blasting it. I mean, I hate to say it, but they are just, even Kurt, our tester, he's like, man, I really like that 66. But he likes TwoSun Knives in general. He goes, I've been a machinist for like over 30 years, and I just really appreciate all the work, and these things actually are well done, according to him. I guess he'd know better than me. Okay, so TS66, what is it? It's real M390, folks. I mean, it compares to the Spyderco Sprint Run M390s on the Para 2 and stuff. So there you go. Of course, it says no match because the software, once again, I guess maybe on every one of these videos, I need to tell you that this gun is not set up for M390, CTS 204, you know, a lot of those S35VN stuff. It's set up to work with tool steels and other materials that are used in oil field related fabrication. Okay, so they may have some things like A1 or A2, and they do have D2, so that'll show, but here it will not show a match. It has to be compared with a known M390 steel. So that's why we sent in the known M390, so we could compare these other knives with it. And yes, it's a match, and the HRC is 59.8. That's not bad. That's definitely higher than a 58. So there you go, 59.8, almost 60. Now, and by the way, I'll give you a link on how that analyzer gun works, so that you can read up on how that works and how it reads the elements and the amount of the elements, you know, in there. Any case, so the scales he's saying are TI-64. Now, it doesn't say that here, does it? Because it was most of the scan, it read TI-64. And we will go through a slideshow at the end of this video because we're going to show you the pictures of the scan gun and the HRC actual dials showing the HRC amounts so that you get to see that. There was some silicone, something gets rubbed on the handles, whatever, interfering with, so it didn't hold it all the way through, so it didn't come out with a final print out of this. But the elements and the initial scan said TI-64. So, and there's some knives, the titanium did not match anything, and it was odd, and he's told me that. But this one, he's confident this is TI-64. It just didn't hold the scan because there was some silicone interference. But solid stuff, you know. These TwoSun knives, they're made. Okay, so the next one is the tenon, mortise and tenon one, the TS-88. You know, it doesn't have any screws on it, and it all kind of comes apart, disassembles. I did a video on this, and I ain't taking it apart again. Okay, but it does come apart with no tools and no nothing and whatever. But here it is, the TS-88. Is it M390? Yes, it's real M390. I guess that's redundant a bit. But the HRC was only 57.2. Now, the thing he was saying is that when he tested this, he's saying, I think the HRC overall really is higher than the 57.2. That's my feeling. But he says, I think what happened is this interfered with that. So, with that being said, like I said, I just kind of quoted what he said here. Test area was near the EDM slots, which may have softened that particular spot, probably harder than that particular area. So the rest of the blade away from those slots is probably harder. Okay. Then the scales, TI-64, and it actually did hold the scan on these. So I mean, if you know, it's going to be hard to say this over here that didn't actually hold the scan is not TI-64 when TwoSun turns around and this does. So it held the scan all the way through. There you go. I mean, you can have that level of confidence that you're getting real M390, that the heat treat is, and I've got another one, the TS100, which is also an integral with M390. I'm going to send that into test. So we'll get 3 knives and we'll get 3 different HRC readings so we can kind of maybe fill the gaps in on this one. Maybe he's right about those slots going into that test area being inclusive of that it did change the HRC a bit. And maybe overall the blade is a higher HRC. And then here's my apology. You know I love cleavers, right? So some fool that's a viewer on this channel sent me this thing, not the knife, a link to this and say, I know you like cleavers, so why don't you check this out? And this is ridiculous, right? Just for shits and giggles. I'm not even sure I can get my caliper. Just 10 millimeter thick blade. 10 millimeters thick. 4/10 of an inch thick. Okay? But I believe on their site, and I'm not sure, are they saying it? Yeah, they're saying 440. Okay, so I got that right. So I sent this in. Oh, it's just a light little keychain beauty, isn't it? And this open back, let's see, you can jam your finger in there right into the blade. Well thought out that way, right? Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, you could get it. Here we go. I should have never sent this to Kurt. This was not nice to do. No, it's not 440. Hell, it ain't got enough chromium in it. Yeah, probably an 8CR13 or lower, maybe a 5CR. The HRC is 58.9, and he thought that maybe the HRC means that probably the heat treat wasn't necessarily appropriate for this either. And what did he say on the scales? That was the second scan he did on it. I think the scales he felt were like 410, 420 steel on them. And there's the readout on that batch. I know. I mean, this Kolour, KOLOUR.com or whatever, you can go on their site. They got all kinds of gas station and mall ninja knives and shit. And why I got this knife, I have no idea. But if anybody's interested in buying this beautiful piece of artistry from me, it will cost you $29. But I'll pay the shipping, which will be $32, as much as this would. I'll have to use a flat rate box. Good Lord Almighty. In any case, so geez. I'm working him too hard, aren't I? I shouldn't have done that. Chromium's too low. He says, the cleaver, this one stumps me a bit. It's not 440 stainless steel. Chromium level's too low, blah, blah, blah. To be any grade of 440. Starts as a poor matched 416, 420, but doesn't hold it long on the reading. So 58.9, doubt if it's a good heat treat. Handles are 410, 420 match, so 8CR. He writes better than I do. I just have him write on the front of the sheets, and that way I don't have to transpose this. In any case, we're going to do a slideshow starting right now. All right, the show and tell part at the facility. Here's our Rockwell tester, and here we're using the test disc to calibrate ourselves out to 65 so we can get the dial set correctly. And first knife up is the embarrassment cleaver knife. There we go. And what is that? 58.9. Yes, it is 58.9 on the cleaver. This is the TwoSun TS66 right here, HRC 59.8. Almost 60. Almost 60. Next, our little Sinkevich Leaf knockoff is right at 60. 60.1 is what he was saying. So yeah, it's just a tick over there. Next, this is the TwoSun TS88, which got tested at up in this area, 57.2. We talked about that right in here. So if you can see where that's making contact, right up near where those slots are. And our lovely little Y-Start Not D2 knife, that one is a 59.4. Right there. There you go. Now, this is him doing the readings. This is the cleaver, obviously, showing the test gun and how it's, what the readout is on that as he's scanning. the scales on the cleaver as well. This one shows our little Sinkevich and testing as D2, obviously. Then this is the scales, testing as TI6-4. Obviously, here is the TS66 again with the blade and the scales. He's got everything in order, at least, showing TI6-4. And the blade of the TS 88, which is M390, which of course they don't have that in their software. It's just comparing with the M390 and the scales. There you go. TI6-4 so far into the scan, yes. But then it lost it. Remember, we were talking about that. No, we were talking about that on the TS66. I'm sorry. And there's the scales. And it started off as a TI6-4 match. But it didn't hold that. Okay. On and on. Okay, the 88, it did hold the match as TI6-4. And then here's the final on the Y-Start knife. No, it's not D2. It's not reading D2. So it's probably an 8CR13, 8CR14 composition. That's it, folks. That's covering them all. We got it done. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was a blast. We've got more batches of knives to do. This is batch number 5. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. We've got 6, 7, and 8. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to try different brands. We're also going to go back to some of the normals like Kaiser and Wee and some of these, US knives, just to kind of get HRCs and things like that. We don't expect any surprises in the blade metal. But, heat treat is important. It's very, very important. All right, gonna let you go. Thank you so much. We made a big damn mess here. Now I gotta clean it up. You can do what you want. I'm stuck with the job. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. And to Kurt, our tester, you guys know what we do around here. We love them knives, so you stay sharp.